The scent of his aftershave lingered in the hallway long after the door clicked shut behind him, a familiar, comforting smell that usually meant safety. Mark was off to another conference, his suitcase rolling efficiently over the tiles. He'd kissed my forehead, murmured something about missing me, promised to call. I'd smiled, waved, and watched his car disappear down the street. The house settled into that heavy quiet it always did when he left, amplifying the low hum of the refrigerator and the rhythmic ticking of the grandfather clock in the living room. It wasn't loneliness, not exactly. It was more like a hollow space opening up inside me, a space that our comfortable, predictable life together no longer seemed to fill. We were good, Mark and I stable, kind, supportive. We navigated careers, household chores, weekend plans with a practiced ease that felt empty. The passion, the desperate need that had marked our early years, had faded like an old photograph left in the sun, leaving behind a pleasant but slightly blurred image. I missed the intensity, the feeling of being utterly consumed. I told myself this was normal, the natural progression of a long-term marriage. We were partners, best friends, a team. And yet, that hollow space echoed. It started subtly, a way to fill the hours. I joined a book club, then a local hiking group. That's where I met Leo. He wasn't strikingly handsome in the conventional sense, but there was an energy about him, a vibrant restlessness that felt magnetic. His eyes held a spark of mischief, an intelligence that seemed to see right through the pleasant facade I presented to the world. Conversations with him weren't exchanges of pleasantries. They were explorations. He challenged my opinions, made me laugh with unexpected observations, listened with an intensity that made me feel truly heard, truly seen, in a way I hadn't felt in years. It wasn't deliberate seduction on his part, I don't think. It was simply his nature, bright and uncontained. We started messaging about books, then music, then life's absurdities. The notifications from him became little beacons of light in my day, pulling me away from the comfortable monotony. I knew it was dangerous territory, flirting with the boundaries of emotional intimacy. I justified it as harmless friendship, a mental stimulation I craved. I ignored the flutter in my stomach when his name appeared on my phone, the way my cheeks warmed slightly when he complimented my thoughts. Mark's calls felt like distant echoes compared to the immediacy of Leo's texts. The guilt was a low, persistent hum beneath the surface, easily silenced by the thrill of connection. The rationalizations grew more elaborate. Mark is busy. He wouldn't understand this need for intellectual companionship. It's just talking. I'm not doing anything wrong. I deserve to feel alive again. The emotional intimacy deepened, crossing invisible lines. Sharing vulnerabilities, dreams, frustrations. Things I hadn't shared with Mark in ages, fearing his practical, solution-oriented response might crush the fragile feeling. With Leo, it felt safe to be messy, uncertain and yearning. The hollow space inside me felt less vast when I was talking to him, thinking about him. We started finding reasons to meet casually. A coffee after a group hike, bumping into each other at the farmer's market. Each encounter was charged with an unspoken current, a tension both exhilarating and terrifying. I saw the awareness in his eyes, too, the mirror of my own forbidden attraction. The line between friendship and something more blurred until it was almost invisible. I told myself I was still in control, that I would never let it go further. But the seed was planted, watered by stolen glances and charged silences, nurtured by the secrecy itself. The night it happened wasn't planned. Not consciously, anyway. Mark was away, as usual. Leo texted. He was nearby, feeling restless after a difficult day. Did I want company? The invitation hung in the air, loaded with implication. Every rational bone in my body screamed no. The ghost of Mark's trust, our shared life, the promises whispered in the dark, they all clamored for attention. But the hollow space, the desperate craving for that intensity, roared louder. The yes felt like it came from someone else, typed by fingers moving autonomously. He arrived, bringing the scent of rain and cool night air with him. We talked, the conversation flowing easily, but the undercurrent was undeniable, thick and electric. The space between us on the sofa seemed to shrink. A brush of hands reaching for the same wine glass sent a jolt through me. The silence grew heavy, pregnant with everything unsaid. Then his hand was on my cheek, his eyes searching mine, asking a silent question. The defenses I'd built crumbled. The no died on my lips, replaced by a terrifying, overwhelming yes. The kiss wasn't gentle. It was hungry, desperate, a dam breaking after months of tension. It felt like falling and flying simultaneously, a terrifying rush of pure sensation that obliterated thought, conscience, consequence. The world narrowed to touch, taste, the frantic beating of two hearts out of sync with everything that mattered. It was a brutal, shocking collision of bodies and betrayal, a frantic scramble towards oblivion where guilt was momentarily silenced by the sheer, blinding force of forbidden desire. Afterwards, lying in the unfamiliar tangle of limbs and sheets in the spare room, reality crashed in with the force of a physical blow. The air felt cold, sharp. His breathing beside me was alien, intrusive. The scent of him, once intriguing, now felt suffocating, mingled with the unmistakable smell of sex and shame. My skin crawled. What had I done? The image of Mark's trusting face, the sound of his voice saying, "I love you," flooded my mind, vivid and agonizing. The hollow space wasn't filled. It was now a gaping chasm, filled with jagged shards of guilt and self-loathing. The enormity of my betrayal hit me like a fist to the stomach. I had shattered the foundation of my marriage, violated a sacred trust, all for a fleeting rush of feeling. The thrill was gone, replaced by a crushing, icy dread. I wanted to scrub my skin raw, erase the touch, the taste, the memory. I slipped out of bed, dressing with trembling hands, avoiding Leo's confused, sleep-softened gaze. His murmured words sounded distant, meaningless. I had to get out. I had to breathe air that wasn't poisoned by my own actions. Driving home through the empty streets, the darkness felt absolute, mirroring the desolation inside me. The silence in my own house now screamed accusations. Every familiar object, our wedding photo, the couch we'd picked out together, Mark's forgotten sweater, felt like a monument to my deceit. I sat alone in the kitchen, the cold tile floor beneath me, waiting for dawn. Not a single tear fell. The shock was too profound, the shame too deep. The comfortable life I'd taken for granted felt like a fragile glass sculpture I'd smashed with reckless abandon. The secret, heavy and poisonous, settled into my bones. How could I ever look Mark in the eye again? The person I thought I was, loyal, kind, trustworthy, felt like a stranger. I had crossed a line, not just into infidelity, but into a terrifying new reality where I was the villain in my own story. The betrayal wasn't just against Mark. It was a profound betrayal of myself, of the woman I believed I could be. The road back, if it even existed, seemed impossibly long and shrouded in darkness. The weight of the secret, the shocking truth of what I had done, was mine to carry, a burden that would forever alter the landscape of my life.